Welcome to the Irresistible You podcast. This is the place to get a dose of empowerment to create the life you crave and deserve. My name is Amy with 2 E's, and I'm the CEO and founder of Irresistible University. Through my podcast and courses, I teach women just like you how to ditch the body image issues, gain confidence, and lose the emotional weight to look and feel irresistible at any size. Welcome back to the podcast. This is going to be episode 237. And today we are talking about a topic that I get extremely fired up about, extremely passionate about, and I would say this is the crux, the foundation of what Irresistible You is all about. And that is, what is waiting on the weight costing you? Now, before we dive in and I start ranting and raving, because you know how I do, I want you to make sure that you are subscribed to my email list if you are not already. Getting on the email list will keep you connected to me. Shall anything ever happen to social media? It gives you notices when there's a new podcast episode. It also gets you on the wait list for when the Irresistible You self-study course is launched. I am relaunching my signature course. This time we are launching it as a self-study program. So that is going to be really awesome. I don't want you to miss anything. So make sure you click that link down below in the show notes to get on the list. If you've already signed up for my list in the past, don't worry, you're already on there. You don't have anything to worry about. So that said, let's dive in because I know that I'm going to have a lot to say today. And as I normally do on these types of topics, you guys have the explicit warning when you sign up to my podcast. You see it, you know it. I don't listen to this in front of my kids. You shouldn't listen to this in front of your kids either. I use colorful language. And if that is an issue, then now would be the time to pause and get out of here. So, waiting on the wait. What does it mean to wait on the weight? Let's first just kind of talk about what that is, because a lot of you that are here and listening, I know that this is affecting you. I know that this is something in your life that is causing you to put things on hold. So before we even dive in, before we even get into what it's costing you, I want to define what it means to wait for the wait. Waiting for the wait is when you are putting things on hold in your life because you're waiting for the weight to come off. You're waiting for the weight to go down. You're waiting to be a smaller size. You're waiting until you have a different body type. You're waiting until you fit in the size 8 jeans. You're waiting until this elusive date, this elusive time in the future when everything's going to be perfect in your mind because you've lost the weight. And as such, when you're waiting on the wait, you are not living. You're just surviving. You're not putting yourself out there. You're playing small. You are not showing up. You are not taking chances. You are not taking risks because, well, it seems like weight is just on the outside. It's this surface level physical thing, which it is. It's on the outside, right? The way that you internalize it is really what we're talking about. You have internalized your weight to mean something that is negative. You have internalized your weight to mean that you are limited. You have internalized your weight to mean that you are not worthy. You are not capable of doing certain things. And as a result of that, you're not living the life of your dreams. You're not living the life that you crave. You are not pursuing the goals and dreams that you used to have for yourself, that you still have for yourself, right? You are choosing to put things on hold either intentionally or maybe you're doing this subconsciously because you don't realize, you haven't had a wake-up call about what it means to be waiting on the wait. So if you've never gotten that wake-up call, if you never realized this was a thing for you, knock, knock. This is your wake-up call. This is your opportunity. This is your sign. This is your sign as of right now, listening to this podcast, to start doing something different. Because what you're doing right now, it's not going to work. It's not working, and it's not going to work for you long term. And I'm not here to preach some diet plan, a weight loss plan, a weight loss medication even. I'm not here to do that, because that's something, you figure that out. You got to figure that out, right? Like if that's something that you're going to need in your life. But what you're going to need regardless, if you're counting macros, if you're taking GLP-1s, if you are intuitively eating, if you're having gastric bypass surgery, all of those things won't matter until you heal your relationship with yourself. With yourself. You have to heal the relationship you have with yourself. Because even if you're on weight loss medications, weight loss injections, and you get to your goal weight, the self-hatred, the playing small, the holding yourself back, you think that's going to just fucking go away because the scale went down? No, you're going to now take that hatred and make it into something else. You're still not going to love yourself. You're still not going to put yourself first. You're still going to find shit to bitch about, right? And let me tell you, I fucking hate loose skin. I hate it with I hate it that I have it. I hate that I have to deal with it, but I acknowledge it, right? And I know it's part of the process. I know it's part of the journey. But where I was going with that is the amount of people I see in these, specifically the GLP-1 Facebook groups that I'm in, the amount of people that I see posting about how they hate their skin, they hate their body, they don't even want to lose weight because they're afraid of the loose skin. Like, that's where I'm going with this, is that you will go from hating your fat body to hating your skinny body and despising and resenting the shit out of the loose skin. I'm not saying you got to like loose skin. I don't like it. I don't like it either. But I don't sit around hating myself and beating myself up and saying, well, bitch, you shouldn't have lost any of that weight because look at you now, you flabby bitch. Like, I don't sit around and say shit like that. And you shouldn't either. So if you heal your relationship with yourself from the beginning, as you go down the scale and you stop waiting for the weight, you're going to be in a very different place from the people that I see and the person that I have been in the past, right? When you do get down to a certain size and then you're just ripping yourself apart because of the loose skin, because of the wrinkles, because of the cellulite, and on and on and on. Make it fucking stop already. Like, shut the fuck up. And who I'm saying that to is the inner fat bitch. The inner fat bitch needs to shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and do something. That's to our inner fat bitch right now. Like, do something different. Think something different. Told you this is going to be a colorful one. I told you this is going to be me ranting and raving, and it's all out of love and respect that I have for you, because I know that you deserve better and I know you're capable of better. That is what it's all about. You are capable of so much more than you're doing right now. You are capable of being so much bigger. And we're not talking size, honey. We are talking energy. We are capable of being so much more than we are holding ourselves back to be. I am tired of you being stifled. I am tired of you holding your tongue. I am tired of you sitting around waiting for someone, waiting for the wait, waiting for everything to be perfect, waiting on the economy. Stop fucking waiting for everything. You need to get up. You need to make your own shit. You need to get it going. Because we got one life to live, and that's what I'm passionate about right now. One life. One life we have to live here. So how are you spending the time? Are you sitting around wasting the time, bitching about some fat rolls, bitching about some cellulite? Oh my God, you can see my cellulite. Oh my God, you can see my gut. Oh my God, my fat rolls. Get the fuck over it. Get over it. Like, we are holding our lives back. We are stopping ourselves from living. We are stopping ourselves from making memories with our families. We are stopping ourselves from reaching our full potential over a fat roll. I know. I know it's not that simple. You don't have to tell me that. You don't have to tell me that, because I'm not just here spitting shit that I've never lived. I've lived it. I felt it. I go through it, right? I still go through it. It still is times where I'm like, okay, Amy, like, we got to, like, center ourselves, right? I am tired of you playing small. I am tired of you holding yourself back. I am tired of you saying no to things that you know you deserve to do. I am tired of you holding yourself hostage, holding your happiness hostage while you wait for the wait. Do you need another year of your life to go by of feeling the exact same way? Seriously, like, think about it. Here we are, right? Like, it's the end of the year. It's the end of the year. All the new year, new you bullshit is already starting to flood our feeds, and I just cannot with that. That's a topic for another day. I'm going to get into that on another day. But are you really ready for another year to just float on by? Because y'all know the older you're getting, the faster it's going. It's not actually going faster, it just feels like it, right? Because we're more aware of certain things. Do you really want another year of your life to go by in the blink of an eye and you have done nothing but the same shit you did last year? You have done nothing but write down the same bullshit resolutions that you wrote down last year. And this year you feel even worse about it. Is that what you want for yourself? Don't you deserve better? Don't you want better? Seriously. Like, oh my God. Like, you have an obligation to yourself to do better. You do. And what I want everyone asking themselves with this episode is, like, what is the real cost here? What is the real cost of waiting on the wait? And I'm not talking financial, because it's not financial. It's not money. The real cost of waiting for the wait is things that you will never be able to buy with money. Things that you can never go back and get another of. That's what you need to think about. The most precious thing that you're wasting waiting on the wait is time. Because that time, it's spent. It's gone. It's not coming back. So all the times that you have wasted, that you have thrown away because you were waiting on the wait, you're not getting that time back. That time isn't going to sit and wait for you. You don't get to bank it. You don't get to save it. It's gone. It's gone forever. And I don't want to say that to discourage you. I don't want you to, but I want to light a fire under your ass and say, okay, starting today, we're not going to play like this anymore. We're going to start putting the pieces in place to do things a little bit differently, to live a little bit differently. You know, the time that's passed, we have to acknowledge what we've done, but we also can't beat ourselves up and we can't live in regret. And the thing is, starting right now, as you're listening to this, you get to make a decision, right? Because what I always say is, once something's been brought to your attention, you're no longer oblivious. You're no longer ignorant. You now have the freedom of choice. So when something is brought to your attention, you now have a decision to either stay where you are or start to put one foot in front of the other and take baby steps to get where you want to be. And I do not believe in going 0 to 100. That is not real. That is just not how things work. We go 0 to 1. Okay, hang out there for a little bit, right? Oh, now I'm ready to go 1 to 2. You know what? Now I'm ready to go 2 to 3. I'm feeling a little bit more confident. Today I'm going to go 3 to 5. That's how you do it. You don't go 0 to 100. That doesn't work. Okay? We're not out here on a racetrack. There's not a fucking checkered flag. Okay? We're not out here trying to win a medal. No one gives a shit how fast you do something. No one gives a shit how long it took you to lose the weight. Quit asking people that. Just stop asking people that. Seriously. You know what I'm going to say when I get to my goal and I can actually say, my name is Amy and I have lost over 100 pounds. The first thing people are going to say is, you know what they're going to say? Oh my God, how long did it take you? And however old I am, I'm going to say to them, 43 years, ma'am. It took me 43 years. Are you still impressed? Are you still impressed? Are you so impressed about how long it took me? Shut the fuck up with that. Seriously. Like, it took me 43 years of life experience to get to my goal weight. That's what we're going to start telling people. Or we're going to tell people to mind their own fucking business. How about that? That works too. But like, my point is that you're not getting your time back. So stop worrying about, number one, where you've been, what you wasted. It's gone. It's done. Okay? We can only worry about today moving forward. All right? And also, stop worrying about the time it's going to take you to lose the weight. Because that right there, oh my God, that right there is what's making you wait for the weight. Because you think you have time. You think you have time. Waiting on the weight. If I can just get the weight off, if I can just get to this size, then everything's going to fall into place. Then I'm going to start my new job. Then I'm going to start my business. Then I'm going to get pregnant. Then I'm going to be confident. Then I'm going to do this, and that, and the other. Stop worrying about how fast it's going to take or how slow it's going to take, because the time is passing you anyway. So quit waiting for the weight to live. You can live and also lose weight at the same time. What? Are you freaking kidding me? I can live my life and also lose weight? No. Are you serious, Amy? Yeah. Newsflash. News fucking flash. Okay? Like, you can lose weight and you can still live, not survive, live. You could be 350 pounds and look cute. Wow. Yes. Yes, girl. You didn't know that? Because here's what happens when we're on a weight loss journey. If we start doing the things now, before we're ready, before we feel confident, at our largest size, if you can do something at your highest weight and learn how to be confident, just imagine who you're going to be down the scale. If you are the shy, meek, low self-esteem person at your highest weight and you stay that way and you're just like, I got to get the weight off as soon as possible because there's a timeline. I'm on the self-imposed timeline. And you desperate diet your ass off. You get down the scale, you're still the shy, meek, and low self-esteem girl that you were. You're just skinnier. And then you find other shit to bitch and complain about because you're never happy. You're never satisfied. The inner fat bitch, let me tell you something about her. That bitch is never satisfied. She's going to still be there. She doesn't go away because you're no longer fat. The inner fat bitch is the voice that lives inside of our brain, who tells us we're worthless, who tells us we're disgusting, who tells us you're still not good enough. Oh, look at you. Oh, wow. You finally got to your goal weight. You're still flabby. Oh, wow. Look at you. You got to your goal. Good for you. Oh my God, you still have cellulite. You got to your goal weight? Oh my God, that's amazing. Are you going to have loose skin surgery? Okay, she will gaslight you. She will be nasty nice to you, but she will still be around if you don't learn how to shut her up. Okay? She doesn't go away because you're skinny. She's not the inner skinny bitch now. She's still the inner fat bitch, and she's not going to go away unless you do the work to make her stop. Does she always gone forever? No. Do I still deal with it? Yes. Yes. And I practice what I preach all the time, and I still have to work on my thoughts. This is not a linear process. You're like, oh, worked on my thoughts. I'm done with that shit. Oh, that was easy. If only it was that easy, right? It's just like weight loss. It's like you don't do what you got to do to get the weight off and then go, done with that shit. That's probably why you're here in the first place, because you keep doing that. Because you're just desperate dieting. You're not doing it for life. You're doing it for a season. You're doing it for a moment. You're doing it for an elusive feeling. Right? So we talked about time, experiences. You're costing yourself experiences, whatever that means to you. You know, I look around my office and I see the stuff, right? And there's a lot of stuff in here right now because the office has temporarily turned into like a storage unit with Christmas and just, you know, entertaining and like moving stuff upstairs or like getting things ready for Christmas and boxes and things like that. And I look at this stuff and one day, this is going to be morbid, so trigger warning. One day we're all going to be dead. Our stuff doesn't die. We die. And our stuff has to go somewhere. It's either going to go to your children and they're going to have to figure it out. It's going to go to a landfill. I don't know where else it's going to go. It's going to go to a thrift store. I don't know. It's going to go to somewhere or something. Okay. That's not the point. The point is we don't get to take any of it with us. And I would rather spend my time and my money. Oh, I do like stuff. I don't like a lot of stuff. Like, I don't like it to be messy, but I do like stuff. But anyway, I would rather spend my money on experiences. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would rather, like for my birthday, for example, we went to Medieval Times in Maryland and did like the Crab Shack thing. I did an episode on it. I would rather spend money on that experience than a big fancy present, right? So think about experiences like going places, doing things that create, what do experiences do? They create memories. And when you're waiting on the wait, you're losing out on those experiences and those memories. You're making memories. They're just not good ones. Think about that. So again, here's the thing. The time is going to pass anyway. The memories are going to be made one way or the other. Are they going to be good memories or bad memories? Like, that's your choice now. And I'm not saying like every and for God, no. Like every memory needs to be happy and exciting and fun. That is fucking dumb. Okay? The people that say, make every day count, live like it's your last day. Trust me, girl, I'm not telling you that. Because that is an insane amount of pressure. When I think about that saying and like, live like it's your last day, bitch, let me tell you something about my last day. If I woke up in the morning and got a memo that it was my last day, do you think I'm going to be sitting at my fucking desk working? Now, y'all know I love podcasting. It is my purpose, it is my passion in life. But God knows if it was my last day on earth, I'm not sitting here at a desk behind a microphone. I love y'all, but you got almost 300 episodes of me for forever. It'll live on. Okay? Like, I'm not sitting here behind a desk. I'm not sitting here working. I'm not sitting here replying to client due dates and deadlines and milestones. I'm not sitting here eating egg beaters for breakfast tomorrow. Like, we're not doing that. I'm not going to sit there and, have this, eat this, not that. We're not doing that. I'm not going to sit there and beat myself up either about my weight. I'm not going to give a shit. I'm not going to care what I say to people. I'm not going to care what I do. I'm going to go do like extravagant shit if I knew today was my last day. So that's the most stupid advice ever, is like, live like it's your last day on earth. Like, we have responsibilities, okay? We have obligations. We have families to support. We have ourselves to support. We have animals to support. And living every day like it's our last day would be highly irresponsible. It is highly irresponsible advice. I hate live like it's your last day advice. I just do. Like, let me be clear. There is nothing wrong with consistency. Matter of fact, if you don't have consistency, you're probably chaotic. There's nothing wrong with consistency. There is nothing wrong with the mundane, what we call the mundane, the little things, right? But when we look back, staying home, like, okay, so this past weekend, kids and I made reindeer food. I'll give you the recipe. It's so simple. You just take Chex Mix, pretzel sticks, the Christmas colored M&Ms, and you mix it all together in a bowl, and you could do anything. You could put any type of candy, like you could do it how you want to do it. And you melt the white chocolate, like the Wilton, or you could do white chocolate chips. It doesn't matter. It's like, there's a lot of freestyling you can do here. Anyway, you melt the chocolate over the mix it up, and then it gets hard, and it makes this delicious, what we call reindeer food. And I put it in these adorable little, almost like popcorn buckets. I got them last year and I forgot to use them. But they are Christmas themed. They're pink and purple. That's my thing. They have snowflakes and ballerinas and shit all over it. So cute. And we put on a new Christmas movie. We sat on the couch, the 5 of us, even Chewy, and we watched a Christmas movie and we ate reindeer food and we stayed at home. It cost us nothing. Okay. We didn't have to go anywhere. And those kind of memories, like memories do not need to be a trip to Dubai, a trip to, some fancy bullshit place. Like, it doesn't need to be that way. And let me say this too. You need to define what living is for you, because living on the edge, going to like 5-star hotels and doing all this like luxurious shit, that's not everybody's definition of living, right? So I think I've shared this like a little bit here and there, but like husband and I have been doing a couple date nights here and there, and my parents have been here on the weekends, and that's been nice. So we've had a couple date nights, which, that's been very far and few between for us. And I just had this push-pull, right, of like, we don't get many date nights out. So when we, it's like, I don't always go on date night, but when I do, I feel like I need to be dressed to the nines, 6-inch heels, looking hot, cleavage, full glam, like just, hot, hot, hot. And we need to go somewhere like, fancy. We need to go somewhere chic. We need to go somewhere like, oh my God, like this new place, the rooftop, whatever, And I like that. I'm into that. But also, I told Frank, I'm like, I'm having this push-pull thing where like, I feel like that's what we're supposed to do because our date nights out alone are so limited. But I also just want to go to like, there's a local, I don't consider it a dive. It's a nice restaurant, but it's also like very beachy. It's right across from the beach, actually. All my locals listening, you guys already know who I'm talking about. It's called Hot Tuna. And I remember when I was like in my 20s and I would go to Hot Tuna. I used to call it the old people like club or bar because all the like 40 plusers would always be there. And well, I guess I'm now the demographic. But anyway, you know, it's casual, flip-flops, you know, just very beach lifestyle, which I'm from the beach. I love it. And, you know, I said, I don't want to wear heels. I think I shared this in one of the episodes. He's like, girl, he was like, well, whether you wear the heels or not, you're still going home with me. So I'm like, okay. But you know what I mean? It was like thinking I should go and look a certain way or go to a certain place, where what I really wanted to do also was just like go to Hot Tuna, hit up, they have an amazing happy hour. So like if you're local Virginia Beach or you visit, their happy hour is 3:30 to 5 or something like that. It is amazing. And let me tell you, the margaritas are top tier. Like they are so good. They're $6 during happy hour. They're tall. They are the perfect. They're not like, they don't taste like too much tequila. They are perfect. And anyway, so I was like, I just want to do that. And then I just kind of want to go to like Home Goods and walk around and like maybe we'll get really exciting and we'll go to Walmart or Target. And it's like, is that the idea, the dream date night that most people would have in their head? No. But also, Frank and I have been together almost 20 years. Like it'll be 20 years in 2026. So we're not in a place where I need to be impressed by a fancy restaurant. If anything, once you've been married long enough, y'all are going to get this. You're like, babe, why are you spending that much money on me? Why did you do that? Right? Like when you're dating and they give you something really nice and expensive, like a purse or something, and you're like, oh my God. Right? And now I'd be like, did you take that out of savings? Like, what were you thinking? Things shift and change, and it's okay. And I was like, you know what? Our little Hot Tuna night, we're happy. We're content. I'm in the stage of like, I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here and have a night out with you. And like, seriously. And like, but I'm happy, right? I'm not doing this to compromise. I'm not doing this to like lower my standards. This is just what I feel like doing. So the point in that story is like, you get to define what those experiences look like. You get to define what is an irresistible life, right? If an irresistible life is jet setting and flitting and floating all across the world, honey, do it. Do it. If that's not you, don't. Find what works for you. What is going to make you feel happy and content? It's not even happy. What is going to bring you peace? Peace, right? Like peace. That's what we should all be aiming for, because happiness, like telling people to be happy all the time is also bullshit advice. Just like live it's like it's your last day. Like I just want to live in peace. And peace is kind of like, that's where I want to live. That's where I want to be. So like, don't get hung up in what you think society thinks is extravagant or a good time or a good experience or a good use of your time, right? Like you decide that. You decide that, you know? So the wait is costing you time. It is costing you experiences. It is costing you regrets. You might have regrets right now, and that's something that you're going to have to work through. That's something that you're going to have to do the work around to like process through that, because again, we can't go back and change things. However, like I said before, is that going forward, we now have a decision, because I put this seed in your brain to say, listen, waiting on the wait's costing you something. It's costing you time. It's costing you experiences. It's costing you memories. It's costing you regrets. So now you have a conscious mind saying, okay, I get to decide if I'm going to regret this or not, right? And one of this, and what is your weight holding you back from? What are you allowing your weight? Because let's reframe that too. The weight is probably not holding you back physically. Although I could argue that both ways, because there are things that we're just not able to do physically because of the weight. So I want you to think about if there's any of those things. But like on an emotional level, how are you allowing the weight to hold you back? And I've shared this story before, but you know, I know it's good to hear things again, or we have new listeners as well. But one of the things that I potentially could have regretted long term was not becoming a mom. So for the longest time, like as a kid in my 20s, I never wanted kids. I thought I was going to be like I just didn't want them. I didn't have that like burning desire that a lot of women get. I never had that. So people said, oh, well, you know, when you turn 30, that will change. Well, 30 came and went. That didn't change. It was around 33-ish, I guess, maybe, where or like 32, 33, it started like crossing my mind. And I'm like, oh, shut up. Nope, I don't want to hear it. Like, I was like, oh my God, it's that voice telling me that. And I kind of ignored it. And then I would see people announce that they were having a baby. And I would say, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. And I would think, wow, like, I wonder if we'll ever do that, right? We never tried. Always made it very much so that it wouldn't be possible, okay? And one night we started having a discussion because it was the end of the year and the new year coming up. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to be 35 this coming year. What do we think about having kids? We had these discussions more than once. It wasn't like this was the only one, but like this was the one where like, okay, what are we going to do? And we were both like, that's one thing about Frank and I with our life and our morals and values. Like, we are very different in a lot of ways, but where it matters, like we don't like some of the same foods. Who cares? Like, but when it comes to like the really important shit, the morals, the values, where we want to be in life, like we are exactly on the same page always. And we were both kind of the same way. We're like, if it happens, that'd be nice. But if it doesn't, I'm okay with that. And so we had this discussion. We're like, all right, are we doing this or not? Because I'm going to be 35 this year. So, you know, we need to make a decision here. And we talked about like why we didn't want to versus why we did. And I had one of my reasons for not wanting to. I was so fucking scared of my weight. I was so scared of my weight. And mind you, I think I was like in the 190s when we were having this talk. So, I mean, it's not like I was like, you know, come on. But that's what the weight does to us. Whether it's 30 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight, 100, 200, we have internalized that weight to mean something. We have internalized it to mean I shouldn't get pregnant because I'm not going to be a cute pregnant girl with a little round belly and people aren't going to notice for a while. Like, or I'm going to put my baby in danger because I have some extra pounds. So when I told him that, he's like, babe, that is not a reason to not do it. He's like, I get where you're coming from. I understand it, but you can't let that hold you back. And so then the question we said, okay, if we don't have a baby or we don't try, because at this point we didn't even know, like, you know, we've never intentionally tried. We're like, if we don't try, will we regret it? And at the exact same time, we went, yes, a very concise yes, absolutely would regret it. And that was our answer. So was I still scared? Yes, very much. Was I still in shock when I saw that pregnancy test positive? Yes, very much so. Did I still deal with a lot of like body image thoughts and things while I was pregnant? Also, yes. But I wasn't willing to let that fear of the weight hold me back from one of the biggest, most important life experiences I can create for myself. Right? Like, imagine I didn't do it because of the weight. And then it's like Javi and Kat wouldn't be here. And the thought of my life without them, I feel like I'm going to hyperventilate, like thinking about it. So we can't, going forward as of right now, live in regret. If there's something you're holding off on, if there's something you're putting on hold because you're worried about what the weight means, you're worried about what you look like, please stop doing that. Please stop letting a fat roll or a double-digit size or an X in front of your tag to stop you from being what you are supposed to be, what you were sent here to do. Because you're more than your weight. You are bigger than your weight. Your weight is the least most interesting thing about you. Seriously. So we can't, so the waiting on the weight is costing you regrets. Nobody wants to live in regret. I don't. You don't. And the other thing is potential. That is one of my fears in life, is wasted potential. Is like someone having this amazing thing locked inside of their brain that they and only they were given the vision for, and the capabilities and the talents, and to reach a point in life where they wasted that potential, right? I think about my children, and I look at them, and when they come into the world, and every baby that comes into the world, when I look at my own children, before they were verbal, they're like little infants, and I thought, and I still think this, what is locked inside of your brain? What were you given? What gift were you given? What gift was placed in your brain that you were given for the world? Because everybody has one. Everybody has one. And it's different for every person. But I always think about that. I think about just the cures for things and medicines and technologies. Like, yes, tech and AI is doing so much and creates, but all of those ideas, they came from a human. They came from a human. And I look at when I give my daughter insulin, and I think about the story of how insulin was invented, and that the doctors that kept failing and failing and failing and failing, but they never gave up, and they finally got the right recipe, right? And they brought these children back to life, these children that were on their deathbed, because when you got diabetes pre-insulin, they would starve you to death to extend your life. And when I think about that, that was in his head. That came from somebody's brain. That came from someone's potential. The cure for cancer, the cure for diabetes, the cure for all of these horrible diseases, it's locked up in someone's brain somewhere. But if you don't, this is where guys, please, if you don't investigate and explore who you really, really are, you won't find your potential. You won't find your gift. You won't find your gift in the monotony of every single day, waking up, going to work, not speaking up for yourself, doing as you're told, coming home, doing the chores, just falling into the couch because you're just so exhausted, and turning on Netflix and opening up a bag of chips. Your potential is not in that bag of chips, girl. It's not. You are worth so much more than the scenario I just described. And you won't find your gifts in Netflix. You won't find your gifts rotting in the couch. You won't find your gifts being meek and mild. You won't find your gifts letting everybody walk all over you. You find your purpose, your gifts, your unlocked potential when you start doing things before you're ready. When you start doing things before you have the confidence. And I drill this into my kids, like when they want to give up on things, right? And I tell my daughter, especially, she's 8, she understands more. She's the one who has type 1 diabetes. And I explained to her, if Dr. Banting would have given up just because the first time he made this little solution and it didn't work with the insulin, just think about that. What if he gave up on the 5th try? Think about all the inventions and modern things that we live with that nobody got it right on the first time. Nobody. So take that as you will, but also just because you've given up on yourself multiple times and you've tried to lose the weight and you've tried to create the life you want and it just hasn't happened for you yet, you're not done. You're not done. Your time here is not over. Your time here is not done. This next time could be the time that you finally change your life for the good. This next time could be when you lose the weight the last time. So just because you have failed so many more times doesn't mean you're going to continue to be a failure. You're not a failure. Everybody has to fail. It is part of the process. It is part of the human condition. It is part of the human experience. I don't know of one single successful person who doesn't fail a shit ton of times. Get the fuck up. Like, just get up. You don't get to lay on the floor in a ball and cry and have a pity party for yourself. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. You will never uncover who you are really meant to be sitting around having pity parties every day. Party of one. Like, you will never discover who you are supposed to be. You know how you discover who you are? When you get up and you start doing things before you feel ready. You start doing things at your highest weight. You start taking better care of yourself. You start getting yourself out there. You start speaking up and you start taking that 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 mentality. In the process is how you discover who you're meant to be. I think of all the kids who grow up in poverty or grow up in areas where they're not exposed to certain things and opportunities, right? And again, what's locked inside their little brains. And if that child would have grown up in any other environment, who could they have been? You know, and it's really sad. But here we all are, regardless of how old you are now. It's not too late. You have not missed anything. You have not missed the bus. You are not too late. You have time starting now to start creating the life that you deserve, the life that you're craving. And your weight should not be a factor holding you back. It just can't be anymore. It can't be. And the irony of all of this is that when you start to live like we teach in the Irresistible You framework, the weight is so much easier to come off because you have other things to focus on. You are not letting food be the center of your universe. You're making better choices for yourself. You're respecting yourself more. You're loving yourself more. Like, it's just time for you to stop letting the weight hold you back. I don't know how else to drill that into your head. You will not get your time back. You will not get the experiences back, and you're going to have regrets. And we don't want that for you. Like, I want so much more for you. And another thing, as we think about all of this, is why are you waiting for the weight? What is it about that that's holding you back? Are you scared that someone's going to say something? You put yourself out there. If you speak up in a meeting, there's a fear that they're going to talk behind your back. And what are they going to say? Oh, that fat bitch thinks she knows everything. Let them say it. Let them say it. I dare someone to say that shit about me. because you're not going to faze me with it. And once you put yourself that way to where that can't hurt you, you're fucking unstoppable. Like unstoppable. No one says, they say, oh, is fat an adjective? Yes, fat is an adjective. Is fat used as an innocent adjective in our society? No, it is not. I have never seen the word fat used in a positive way, ever. People use that word, they weaponize the word, right? And so then we have this fear, oh my God, they're going to call me that word, that F word. And I remember just thinking before in the past, like holding my breath of like, please don't say that word. Please don't say that word. Please don't say it. Because then it makes it true in my brain, right? Like it makes it true because they said it. If fat was just an innocent adjective, people wouldn't weaponize it to say nasty things about you. People wouldn't use that word. People that are supposed to care about you, support you, love you, people wouldn't use that word to put you down because they can't find anything else to say negative about you. So here's my thing. If the only thing you have to say about me is I'm fat, congratulations, you can see. Congratulations, you have 20/20 vision. Would you like an award? Would you like a medal? Would you like a cookie? Congratulations, you have eyes that can see, honey. Thank you so much for that. Because I had no idea that I'm fat when I look in the mirror. I had no idea. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. If that's the only thing you have to say about me, I must be doing something right. So you got to change your thought process on that word and stop worrying if someone's going to say that about you because you are choosing to stand up for you. So if you're waiting on the wait because you're afraid of what other people are going to say, do the work around that, right? If someone says, I'm a fat bitch, what's going to happen to me? Nothing. Is the world going to stop spinning? No. Like, you know, so that prevents us from living, from doing things because we are afraid to show up. We're afraid to be seen. We are afraid to take up space. All the little techniques that you're doing to shrink yourself down by like sucking in or scooting as close as you can to the window on the airplane or the bus, like that's not helping. People still see you. Okay? It's not going to shrink your body down, but we think we're doing something by doing that. You know? And so stop being afraid to take up space. And I mean physical space and I mean emotional space. Stop worrying about, I don't want to cause any ripples. Cause a tidal wave. Fucking cause a tidal wave. Like, stop. Like, speak up. Stand up for yourself. Because I'm going to tell you this, there's not one person that's going to do it for you. You got to stand up for yourself. You got to believe in yourself enough to stand up for what's wrong and what's right. There's also a fear of success. It's not a fear of failure. If you're telling yourself you have a fear of failure, I don't believe that. I think you need to dig a little bit deeper. Because saying this with all the love, but like, if you are here listening, you know what the yo-yo diet body hate shame cycle is. You're used to failing. It is what it is. We're used to failing. We're not used to the success. And success comes with a level of responsibility that you are not used to. So it's scary as hell. It is scary as fuck to think about, if I lose all the weight and I get to that point, how am I going to stay here? Well, if you do it the way I talk about with the Irresistible You framework and you start living your life like that, you're not going to be scared anymore because you no longer are like using food as your only outlet and coping mechanism. So that fear starts to go away. But people are afraid of their own success because think about who you would be if you took all the guards down, if you took all the fear away. Pretty powerful. I bet you're like a powerful ass power bitch. Like, come on. Like, people should be scared. They should be intimidated. In the best way possible. You know what I'm saying. But that fear of success, that may be something that is subconsciously causing you to sabotage every single time, and it's holding you back. Because success comes with responsibility. And I'm talking success in any way. Weight loss success comes with the responsibility to be in maintenance mode, to keep making the same decisions over and over and over and over again. Financial success comes with a shit ton of responsibility. More money, more problems was not a phrase for nothing, honey. It's true. Success in business, a shit ton more responsibility. People think, oh, you own your own business, like you're rolling in the money, or you are just, you're the boss, so you don't have to be there. I don't know where they got that from. I guess because it's romanticized in movies and shows and things like that. But like, I don't know a single CEO or like successful business person who checks out on a regular basis or doesn't wake up in the middle of the night going, oh shit. It comes with an extreme amount of responsibility. So think about these things. Ask yourself, like, why am I waiting for the wait? What am I doing? Like, what am I really afraid of? If I want it so bad, I can taste it, to be in a smaller body, if I want to be doing these things so bad, then why am I sabotaging myself to get for what I want? Because it doesn't make any sense. So you've got to dig a little bit deeper, do the thought work to figure that out. Because if you don't, you're going to just keep repeating the cycle. And waiting for the wait is going to continue to cost you over and over and over and over and over for the rest of your life until you figure this shit out. So, was that enough ranting and raving? Because I'm a little drained right now, and I need to go recharge my battery after all that. But this was fun. And if you're still here to the very end, thank you. I so appreciate you and all of your support and all of your, time here listening. I do appreciate it because I know that time is a very precious thing, and we don't get that time back. So thank you for your time and your support. I want to just close out with a few reminders that if you want to stay in touch between episodes, make sure you get on that email list. It's down in the show notes. Make sure that you are following me on Instagram. I am at Irresistible Icing. I also do have the private Facebook group, and I am dabbling here and there on TikTok. All of those links are in the show notes. If you would like to support the podcast, that would be amazing. There's a few ways to do that. Number one, if you want to leave a rating and review on your podcast player, if your podcast player offers that, I know certain ones do, like Apple Podcasts, I believe Spotify, some of the others do not. But if your app offers the ability to leave a rating and review, please do that. That is so helpful to the show and helping other people find it. And if you would like to help in other ways, you can do the Buy Me a Coffee, where you can donate a few dollars, and that goes to me running the expenses that it takes to run the podcast. So either way, that would be fantastic. And also your support is sharing the podcast, listening to the podcast, and, helping out in that way. And so all of those are much, much, much appreciated. So on that note, I am going to go. I hope that you have an amazing week. I hope that you have something to think about now. I hope that you are going to start doing some work on yourself to stop all of this waiting on the wait. And until the next one, stay irresistible. Bye, guys.